Welcome back, everybody, to the ROI Online Podcast. And today, I'm proud to introduce you to Ali Hammoud. Ali is with a company called Vidyard, and they are a progressive video company. I'm going to let Ali, I'm going to mess all that up. So I'm going to let you tell that in just a second. But the reason I have Ali on today is because in the future of where business is going, it's video. And this is not a surprise. We've all heard this. And so Ali is bringing a great example of a simple way for businesses to start taking advantage of video. Ali, welcome to the ROI Online Podcast.
It's a pleasure and a long time coming, that's for sure. Just following up and seeing how you have such amazing guests coming on the show. It's amazing to be a part of it. So I'm happy to be here. I guess as a means of introduction, yes, Ali Hammoud here. I'm a partner manager over at Vidyard. Started off on the team as a business development representative in the trenches, talking about video, making videos, and showing businesses what types of impact this could make on their business as a whole. And you had mentioned that you didn't want to, butcher what we do as an organization, but, as much as I know you have the expertise in this stuff and use it yourself, it is a scalable, complex solution with organizations that ties into both sales and marketing. So I totally understand. It's sometimes even hard for myself to really, nail it on the head as to, what type of impact, especially for a wide array of an audience. And, talking to your audience, I know we've got lots of business owners that tap in and are trying to learn best practices and trying to find ways to optimize their business to be in today's day and age and make some great business outcomes. So it's awesome.
So Ali, you live in New York, is that right?
No, you got it completely wrong.
California, you're in LA?
I'm not in California. You know where I'm at. I'm in snowy Canada, just on the outskirts of Toronto, in a small town called Kitchener. But it is the tech hub in Canada. But I appreciate the jokes. That's hilarious. I would love to move to California, and the big city in New York is absolutely a dream of mine. But yep, out in Canada and proud of it. We don't ride polar bears, and maple syrup doesn't come a part of a complete breakfast every morning. But nonetheless, it's the place to be.
Do you wear a toque?
Yeah. When it's cold out, for sure. It's not all year thing.
So here, Ali, as a business owner, there's all these crazy tools out there. And here's the thing, email is not going away anytime soon. Mm-hmm. But when you think about all the emails that come in your inbox every day, you're sitting there and you're quickly scanning those and deciding which ones am I going to do now and which ones am I going to push off till later. Yep. And the beautiful thing about the tool that you guys have is that we can kind of make the short list on that email scan in the morning or whenever by utilizing video in our emails. Talk to us a little bit about how that works. What are the stats? What are you seeing? What are some great examples?
Yeah, absolutely. That's I love how you put that in in the sense of an actual daily interaction that happens with everybody, especially for decision makers that are getting scalped on LinkedIn or getting scalped off of telemarketers and cold calls, or even when it comes down to filling up their inbox. Mm-hmm. We'll tap into the sales tool and what that means for a salesperson reaching out to those busy inboxes. If you were to look at a bird's eye view at an inbox, you're looking at, I think from our statistics shows, around 120 emails a day to a decision maker's inbox. And as salespeople, we keep doing more of the same. And I want to make this super clear. Email, critical in business. Totally. Telephones, critical in business. But video, also critical in business. And so when you look at an inbox, when you'd mention, making that short list, the first thing that popped in my head is too much noise. Mm-hmm. There's too much noise in my inbox. I got a newsletter coming from this. I subscribe to this and I don't care about it that much. I don't feel like going to hit unsubscribe. Mm-hmm. That happens. Also with emails, I don't know if you've ever received one of these ones, but it'll be like a paragraph long. Yeah. And you look at it for about 7 seconds and then you go, done. Yeah. Doesn't get to the point. It's cold. It's impersonal. And then obviously, you're looking for something different. You're looking something eye-catching. You're looking for something that's worth your time, because that is the most critical resource on a day-to-day basis, especially as a decision maker. So as a salesperson, what I do is I try to disrupt the pattern. It's like, instead of me typing out this 5 to 10 sentence email that talks to you about who I am, my company, my service offerings, in hopes that you're going to really care that day,
Yeah.
what I do is I end up easily in my workflow simply clicking on a Google Chrome extension that shows this little alien logo, the Vidyard logo, um, and then be able to quickly record a 30-second video where you get to see my face, you get to hear my voice, you can feel my personality, and all that information I want to say inside of a text block can be portrayed within 30 seconds, which still really taps onto the attention span that we have on a day-to-day basis. And then be able to use that in my workflow and send it off just as quick as it would be for me to pick up a phone and ring somebody, just as quick as it would be for me, if not faster, to create an email.
Well, wait a minute. So
Yeah.
writing that email,
Yep.
if you're me,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, you're concerned about your spelling. You're concerned about your grammar. And then it doesn't take me 30 seconds to write a 6, 7, 10 sentence email. It may take me 30 minutes to look at it, review it, catch something I overlooked before I send it. But I also want to point out, on the other end, if the person does open it up and they start to read it, they're deciding whether they want to read that now or later. And so all the investment of time that you put in it, and then you send it, and then it's happened to me so many times, and probably use like, hey, did you get my email? And they go, yeah, but I haven't read it yet. You're like thinking in your back of your head, do you know how much effort and thought I put into that?
Yep. Yeah, you got it right on the dot, and that's why I remember when it was crunch time in my past sales roles. Remember, they'd be like, send out more emails, talk to more people, and it wasn't personalized. I was sending off templates. It was pretty much a crapshoot at that point. It's like, maybe somebody will reach out to me if they catch on to this. But with this, it's like more effective, disrupts the pattern. You got let's say out of 15 emails that get sent in the beginning of the day, the one pops up and it has 2 sentences that are impactful, that catches the person's attention, that maybe talks about problems that their persona's feeling, or taps into something that you saw on their LinkedIn with a thumbnail. And for those who can't see it, I'm holding up a whiteboard right now with Steve's name on it to create a personalized approach. Cool. And the person goes, what is this? Like, who's sending me this and who are you? And once they click on it, the best part of this is being able to remove friction. So instead of, like, for instance, the email coming back and me by any grasp saying, okay, I'm interested in having a meeting, and then going back and forth trying to find a meeting date, you put your calendar right at the end of the video, which is easily a setting inside of Vidyard. And boom, I have now created a motion where the person received my message in the best possible manner by tapping into the visual, the audio, being able to know who the person is on the other side, created some authenticity, but then also is able to book the meeting faster, which increases your booked meetings, which your business outcome is then revenue. You're having more talking time with clients, you're in front of more demonstrations, so on and so forth. Without getting too in the weeds, my favorite part, Steve, and I sorry to cut you off, I love this stuff, but buying intent. It's like, and here's my favorite thing. So you send it off, the person watches it. How do you know they watched it? Oh, well, we got a solution for you there. As soon as somebody watches it in real time, you get a notification that comes to your inbox that says, ABC from ABC Company watched your video to the percent. So somebody could watch 1%, somebody can watch 100%, somebody can watch it multiple times. So you can figure out buying intent. And just one more funny story. I remember this one guy I sent the video off to, and it was an amazing video. I tapped into personalized stuff. I believe he was a part of the same fraternity that I was in. So I reached out to him, and I thought maybe that would tap in. Like, I was super excited about this video, 30 seconds long. I think he watched like 20% or less. So I called him right off the bat. And I said to him, I'm like, do I have the face for radio or something? Do you just not like? And he loved it. He thought it was hilarious. And I actually got a meeting out of it. I was a human. I was authentic. But nonetheless, I knew what was happening on the back end. So yeah, huge benefit as a salesperson.
So, even though we're discussing your company, Vidyard, there are many many services that help you produce videos on the fly to be
Mhm.
very, it's a way to produce interactive content for all sorts of applications. So, the first thing, the value I saw was in the email. This quickly resolved me having to take time and write emails, try to get in a quiet place or focus. But I quickly do several videos, then I know if they watched it or not. Most of them do get watched. It's interesting that it's amazing. If you do one of these videos, it's like 90% for me that people watch them.
Mhm.
The last
Mhm.
one I sent, this is funny. The last one I sent, I spent a lot of time on, and he didn't watch it, but he sent a reply and he goes, "Hey, Larry, don't worry about it." And I just laughed because Larry's not my name. And I knew he didn't watch it. So it's like, it's totally, buying intent was real clear and there was no buying intent involved there. But it's like, now I know not to worry about it. But that was funny. Larry, don't worry about it. And he didn't even watch my video. And it was a great video too.
That's hilarious. And you see, you probably wouldn't spend like an extra, couple of days or keep them in your cadence and like worry about, oh, I need to make sure I touch, get my
Hmm.
touch on this individual. You know that maybe it's not the right time for that person. And
Mm.
that's what we're trying to identify. When is timing right for somebody? When does something make most sense for somebody for them to engage with you and potentially make an impact on their business?
So if I'm a business person, there are times that maybe we've taken stabs at making some YouTube videos or had someone come in and do a real polished video interview about your products or stuff. How
Mhm.
can we take advantage of old inventory and
Ooh.
utilize it and repurpose it?
Love that question. What a great question. So the cool thing, and this kind of ties back into our first conversation right at the beginning of the podcast, is a full scalable solution and making impacts on multiple facets of the business, including marketing and sales. Now, as a sales individual, like you have somebody, you might have a wide array of videos that you don't even have access to. They might be sitting inside of the company's YouTube channel. Marketing might have them on their desktop in MP4 format, and you don't even know who the guy in marketing is because you've never had to meet him. So you're not going to go and ask them for it. It's become a critical part in the purchasing decision and the purchasing process for buyers. So you got to find a way to utilize them. So Vidyard, what we enable salespeople to do and marketing individuals to help salespeople with is to consolidate these videos into the platform that resides within our many integrations like Gmail, like Outlook. So it's very simple for you to access through just one click of a button, those marketing videos to start using them and distributing them in your sales cycle. Now, being able to organize these into a folder from polished videos to account-based marketing videos to about us videos, demo videos, being able to easily access them has created workflows and efficiencies for salespeople that haven't been identified before. Neither have they even been uncovered. People didn't understand that video used to be on an island of its own, where people were like, let's spend $100,000 to make these funny, great, amazing videos or well-polished, explained videos, and let's throw them on YouTube and let's hope for the best.
Hmm.
But we're trying to take the guesswork out of that. We're trying to put these videos to action so you can justify a return of investment on them.
So, let's talk about, there are probably several stages that you would go, but what would be like the first maybe 5 steps that I would take to just corral all these videos and start to look at these things that we've already invested in and spent some time with, and start
Mm.
to figure out how to quickly get a win in just a matter of 10 or 15 days?
Personally, if I was a business owner and I was just starting, I'd probably reach out to you, to be honest, just because I swear, just with the quick start program that we were discussing, weeks ago, and just how you guys are developing a way to, audit and take a look at videos as a whole to get the ball rolling. I think like that's the best way if you know nothing about video.
Mhm.
If you know lots about video, if you know the usages, the best lengths, the best practices, and you've been using it as actively as, let's say, you have, then what I would suggest the first thing to do would be is to say, where does video fit in my grand scheme of things? when it comes down to my sales process, all the way from prospecting down to post sale, where does video fit, and where does it make sense in my marketing schematics? Like if I have these videos on my websites and they're critical, impactful pieces of content, am I driving people to the next step of the customer journey? Am I hosting it in something that's built for business? Am I identifying who these people are? So I think really questioning your status quo, taking a look at what you're currently doing, and looking at video as not something that's completely irregular, but more so as a critical means of communicating in business today, and seeing where it could fit, and seeking advice. Reach out to me, reach out to Steve. We'll tell you exactly what to do.
When you think back in the day when I would say video, or I would hear video, I pictured having to sit down in front of a couple of cameras, someone holding a mic boom over these lights, and having this polished script and all this stuff. But the video really that is impactful and a quick win for business is not that, is it?
It's not. And this is a little of an embarrassing story for me, but I'm going to say it nonetheless. When I first started, I knew what I was getting into. It's a video company. I know what we do. It's a software that's made for creating these scrappy, authentic videos and being able to just be yourself and use them as a means of communicating. I'll tell you, my first videos that I made for the first week, my old boss, her name was Ellen. Amazing, amazing woman. She helped me out and provided me feedback, but this is what my first video looked like. And for those that can't see, I'm completely slouched in my chair. You could see the top of my head. I had my pen up like this, and my voice was low. My mic was all crappy. I wasn't centered, and I was moving my chair. And I'm like, Ellen, I made the best video. Like, you should hear what I said. Like, I'm surprised. This is the first time. And she gave me the ground rules. She's like, listen, there are best practices. I love the fact that like you were excited and like you were talking and you had something to say, but all we really had to do was just stiffen up my back a bit in front of my laptop, put the stuff down that were in my hand, and just be clear and concise. And you'd be surprised. I think there's 4 main categories to making a good, scrappy, authentic video with high impact, and it's having good lighting. So for yourself, you got amazing lighting. For me, I'm sitting in my bedroom, not the best lighting. Could probably be better, but recognizing good lighting so the person can see you. Number 2 is camera angle. You could easily start doing this or vice versa, which kind of creates this weird effect. You want to definitely be sitting at a good angle. Your background and your environment plays a major role because it can be either really distracting, or on the flip side, it can be used to your advantage. So for instance, when we were back in the office, there was a group of 10, 15 of us on the business development team. And sometimes I would catch an eraser to the head. Sometimes I'd catch a football to the head. But at the end of the day, people love that. And I'd make that my thumbnail. You can change your thumbnail to like a Giphy thumbnail or a static one. And people would be like, oh, that sucks. You got hit in the head. But yeah, let's meet. Authentic, scrappy. And then the last one is your mic. You have an amazing mic. My mic is pretty decent. And really all it takes is those in-ear headphones, like maybe the Apple ones or something like that, just so someone can hear your voice and you can enunciate and it's recognizable. That's all you need. That's it.
So I remember a couple of years back, we decided to go what we call video first. And so we used to all be in the same office, and then some of us started to work remotely. And but we'd get on a conference call, but with no video. You could hear the voice, but you couldn't see the person. And I remember there was this point we decided, look, you always have to have your video on when you get on the Zoom call, or it was Google Meet back then, whatever. And that was like this big hurdle we had to get over. It was this change, and it seemed like there was this resistance. Oh, I got to comb my hair and put on some makeup. And I didn't need much makeup, but just getting the team to adopt that was huge. But now doing this, just like you talked about, you illustrated how it takes a little bit of a learning curve to get used to this and actually do it first. And in your language right now, you're talking video first, just totally.
That's the key word.
We're recording a podcast, but we do have a video layer going on that'll be on YouTube and on our Vidyard account and our website as well. But that's cool. but there is this change that your team has to adopt, and someone has to lead it.
Mhm.
Who do you think is the best person to lead the change in an organization?
Wow, that's a great question. I think with every question has key uh, people on their team that are willing to drive new change and new initiatives.
Mhm.
Like for instance, I've seen from the top down this be introduced where the top is, a sales manager, and the sales manager sending their salespeople videos all day and saying, reply back until they get used to it. And they're like, this is actually kind of fun. Why wouldn't my customers want to do this? Or
That's a
sometimes you can
great idea.
it is. It is. It's
Yeah.
like just send me a reply. Like I'm messaging you something, or like they'll do something funny and like out of box, and
Mhm.
it just inspires the team. Or you'll have someone like, so that's for like internal communications, which you can totally use Vidyard for as well. And then you also have sometimes a champion within an organization where somebody is already doing some high level, really good sales, and they're looking to take themselves to the next level. They're noticing, hey, I'm reaching out to, let's say 500 people a week, and I'm very high level, high volume. I want this to move up a notch. How can I do that? And this is the way to do it. And once they see how it elicits more replies and they become a champion, everyone wants to be the top salesman. Everyone wants to be the top producer and revenue generator. So really you can take different approaches. But I think this is for everybody. This isn't for a certain person. We have CEOs using it. We have individual contributors using it. And we even have like human resources using it to do recruiting, to do stuff like that. So, and just to kind of tap into this on a broad spectrum, this is a communication form. It is nothing more than like, so you take the software portion out of it, it's video, it's tapping into visual, it's tapping into audio, and putting those two together, which are really the only two senses you can tap into through a computer. So why
Mhm.
not put both of them together? Um, but that's a really good point. I really like that.
So, what are some of like the worst excuses you've heard on why they shouldn't do it? Why they shouldn't do this? The worst
Yeah,
lame excuses you heard.
the worst one, and I
Yeah.
felt really bad after I heard it, was my reps are too ugly. And I'm just like, come on, you got to be joking me here. Your reps can't be that bad. Another one I had as well, which I never see as an excuse, and I always see this as like, I see it more of as an opportunity. But I had one person say, hey, all my salespeople, they're 30 years old plus, they're 40 years old plus. They've been calling and emailing, they're doing just fine. They're too old to use video. Or they said they're too shy to use video. And in my head, I'm just like, so you're telling me these people that have been in sales for years and years on end that can walk up to a like $1 million deal and sit down on a table in front of a CEO and pitch something, can't sit behind their desk and record themselves doing the exact same thing without the pressures of having the other person in front of you. And when you say that, you put it into perspective that it's something that you battle internally. But I think it takes about a week. I think a week, and then you're like, well, this is habit now. And we really simply put this in your workflow with all of our integrations. So this isn't like out of the box or doing a detour. This is as simple as writing an email. The same place where you write an email is the same place where you're going to click a button to create a video. It couldn't be easier.
It
Um,
is easier
it
than writing
is.
an email. Totally.
It is. Have
You
you seen
can,
some good successes?
yeah.
Yeah.
What I love is we've made templated videos.
Mm,
So you have a text aspect of that email that everyone knows you can do pre-made templates. When you go click the person's name, then you go click the template, it puts Dear Sally and then that text. Everyone knows that.
yep.
But then like, oh my gosh, we're able to put in colorized PDFs in there. That's cool. And a nice little unique signature on there. But now we have this video that's not just a static video, it's you waving at them, or it's got motion in it on top of that, and it's just really creative. And what's cool is if I get 150 emails a day, that's a light day. And guess how many of those are video emails? Maybe
Zero.
one.
Yeah, maybe mine. Me sending you an email, bugging
Yeah,
you.
yesterday I got one from a progressive
Yep.
thought leader, but it doesn't happen very much. And so
Mhm.
this is crazy differentiator. It's a great way to be different, to connect personally, and to stand out and get your email read. It's just easy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we've
And
talked, go ahead. You were about to say something.
yeah, this you got me, inspired on like another purpose of using video, because we've been talking a lot about prospecting and
Hmm.
sales. And in sales, it doesn't end after you have your first conversation. When it ends is when the money's in the bank and the
Hmm.
deal's closed and the customer's happy, they got what they needed. Now, in order to get to that point, what I noticed is nowadays there are so many decision makers in a determining factor of approving a deal or approving something new within their organization. And usually, let's say you have two stakeholders. You have a business development rep and let's say an account executive who would do all the back end closing and everything. Um, when they have that initial meeting, or let's say it's like the third step and you've spoken to multiple stakeholders and it's decision time, after those video calls or meetings in person, what happens is there's a lot of information that just sits within your head. There's a lot of information that you try to basically send them off in a summary or a follow-up so that they can transfer that information within their organization to make a solid decision. Now, imagine being able to summarize the meeting you just had, tap into the key functionalities and points that they found important for their business, and say, feel free to send this to everybody in your organization who needs to make the decision.
Hmm.
Now, not only does that become a more effective means of communicating where the person retains up to 72% more of that information comparing to the 20th percentile for text, um, but also you're able to track who's watched it. So a week from now, instead of you just checking in and saying, hey, have you sent those out yet? You can say, hey, I noticed you're the only person who rewatched it. Do you want me to reach out to them personally? Like, are you busy? Like, or maybe it didn't make sense. Did you want me to reword that video? So now you're adding value and you're shortening your deal cycles. Um, but yeah, sorry, had to go off on that tangent.
No, so I was thinking where I was going next was we have onboarding emails
Mm-hmm.
where it's welcome to the family. Here's what to expect next. Here's how we're going to go to the next steps.
I
For
love
our
that.
proposals, they have video components in the proposals as well. There's just all these other great uses. Like for my book, on our resources page now, we've got a video of me talking through our growth stack. There's This is just stuff you can sit down and just knock out in just minutes, and you're not needing to like go to a studio or plan it through, or it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's just capturing the thoughts in your head on what to expect next, or what. It's just a great tool.
For sure. Yeah, it's interesting stuff, and even for those who have already invested heavily into video, I feel like on the marketing end of things, to be able to host the videos that you've created and invested all your money into, but now start to be able to see the impacts of those videos, such as identifying somebody who comes to you. So let's say you have a video, okay, and it's this wonderful explainer video, and it sits within YouTube. Well, YouTube's a wonderful free hosting tool, but the amount of times that I've clicked on a video and ended up on cat fail videos or,
Mm-hmm.
watching random music videos or something is uncanny.
Yep.
So to have those sitting inside of a player on your website that enables you to identify who the person is and turn those views into actual names is a huge, huge incentive for marketers to say, hey, sales, guess what? I got you, let's say out of those 500 people, I got you 50 people who watch this video 100% or multiple times. You got to reach out to these people and you got to talk to them about ABC. It's just such a, like, uncovering the power of utilizing your videos is so far off from being mainstream. And I just can't wait till everybody's using it to its full extent.
True. So what's the most creative application that you've ever seen someone do with
Mm-hmm.
just a simple Vidyard video?
Oh, I love this one. I always use this example. Anyone who knows me, they'll say, "Oh, he's going to talk about the Buffalo Wild Wings story again." But so we had this one individual who worked for a tech company, and so he was doing account-based marketing, I believe it was, for Buffalo Wild Wings, and he was trying to get a hold of them, and nothing was working. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to Buffalo Wild Wings at lunch. I'm going to go have lunch. So he went there and he bought the hottest wing possible. And he brought one back to the office and he clicked the record button and he pitched his software and introduced himself while eating the hottest wing. And he noticed that that was circulated across the entire company. And it was just like, just that one thing got him recognized, and inherently that meeting. He's been trying forever, but all it took was that sacrifice of eating the spiciest wing and being entertaining that really pushed him across the line. So I love that. For me also, using your environment is super underrated. A lot of people think it's like as simple as personalizing, let's say, a whiteboard, or hovering over their LinkedIn with our screen share capabilities. But sometimes using your environment captivates people because it's like the curiosity of what's happening in the background. Remember, there was one video, Jacob Fernandez is our video coach, and it actually I saw like the thumbnail. I'm like, what is happening in this video? He was eating a donut, and I forgot what the person behind him was doing, but they were either breaking something and it was just so irregular that if I got that on my email, I'm not even. It's the tipping point of me not clicking because I'm like, what is this? But again, curiosity killed the cat. I clicked on it and it was a prospecting video example. So it's really up to your imagination. You got to tap into either entertainment or empathy or, anything that's realistically going to make someone feel something beyond just your voice on a call or just reading a text where you probably won't really care that much.
So do you think that someone from Texas could use this?
From Texas?
Yeah. Do you
How
think
come?
that, or someone from Florida? You have to be from like Canada. You have to be.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, there is no discrimination. This is for everybody. Even Canadian folks like me. We love our video.
So as far as international application.
Yep.
So is this more of a North American type product, or do you see it used internationally? How does that work?
Yeah, it's interesting because we have a free tool on our website, and it's in your Google Chrome if you want to go to the App Store, and we have over 2 million free users, and it can be a student creating a video for his teacher as to why he didn't do his homework and sending it off, to his teacher.
Yeah.
So weird off use cases where one person downloads it because they have this one use case.
Yeah.
Or it could be somebody who is a avid user that lives in Timbuktu. That's, and again, use cases are endless and usage is endless and this brings me back to my point. This is a means of communicating. This is nothing more than communication. So just like and that's where this is going. It's going to, there's phone, there's email, there's video, and that's just how we communicate as humans, especially with the globalized world where, your customers might be in, like for myself, I have tons of partners that live in the UK, in Australia and New Zealand, and, our times are off. So for me, like if I want to meet with them and I have a lot of important things to tell them, I'll make them an asynchronous video, 15 minutes long, and I'll send it to them. And whenever they wake up and they're ready to watch it, they watch it. We don't have to make a Zoom call and, find a time at 9 p.m. for me and 8 a.m. for them, whatever it is. So it's for everybody, everywhere.
Is there one country that uses it more than any other country? Like, for example, in the podcast stats, obviously North America is like really high on podcasts, but other countries are low.
That's a great question. I'd say a mass majority of our clients, our customers, and our users reside within North America. So yeah, in those regions. Canada, US, biggest.
So when you were getting to learn this tool, you started working for Vidyard, what was the one stat that was unexpected but very convincing to you that this was a very important tool to look at, not in the way of just Vidyard, but in video, utilizing video for communication?
For sure. I'd say like the most like mind-blowing stat for me, which at first I was critical about, but then I'll tell you exactly why it changed my mind. So it's that 90% of buyers engage with at least one video before they make a purchasing decision. Because I told myself, I'm like, well, if you're going to determine purchasing decision going to McDonald's, I don't watch a video before I go to McDonald's, or you know what I mean? So I started getting skeptical. But then I had this epiphany the other day. So I never indulge in buying myself really, really nice things. I'm happy. I'm a simple guy.
Mhm.
I told myself this summer I'm buying a beautiful bike, and I did. And after I purchased it, especially through COVID and everything that's happening right now, where you can't just walk into a store and try on a bike, um, I actually watched a ton of videos about that bike, and I didn't read much about the specs. I maybe looked at like the size of it and stuff, but
Mhm.
I wanted to see someone riding it. I wanted to see somebody talking about it. I wanted to see someone pressing on the shocks, and all of that influenced my purchasing decision. So I was thinking, I'm like, the same people who buy bikes, the same people who buy shoes, the same people who buy McDonald's are the same people that are buying high level enterprise softwares or are buying bulldozers or everything. Buyer
Mhm.
is a buyer. So it made lots of sense to me.
So, all right. So this has been a really good conversation. I've enjoyed it, Ali. So, well, I got one more good question for you. I think it's a good question, but tell everyone how they can get a hold of you or connect with
Hmm.
you first.
Send me a video. That's it. Boom. Honestly, you know what? And reach out to Steve or reach out to me. You can add me on LinkedIn if you'd like, Ali Hammoud at Vidyard, or talk to Steve if you want an introduction as well. I'm
Mhm.
more than happy to have a conversation. But I do urge you, if you send me a video, I will be all over you and I'll give you all the information you need, and I'll spend some time giving you best practices. If you send
That's
me an
excellent.
email or a call, great, I'm happy. But if you send
Mhm.
me a video, boom, you got my heart. Yep.
So it's ali.hammoud@vidyard.com.
That's my email. You got
And
it.
then on LinkedIn, it's
On my LinkedIn, it's just ALIHAMMOUD, or search up Vidyard and search up for Ali, like Muhammad Ali, and
mhm.
done. And that's it.
All right, perfect. So what's the one question that I
Mm.
should have asked you about all of this, but didn't?
Ooh, that's a good question. Putting me on the spot here with this last one. I thought you would have caught me with a really good question before, but this is a hard one. To be honest, Steve, I think you tapped into all the critical foundational theories and questions as to why video
Mhm.
and how to do it easily. So I think you asked me all the right questions, man. That's but if you ever want me to send you my first embarrassing video from Vidyard that I'd mentioned to you, I'll do that in private and I'll show you that.
So let's do that as a bonus. If you guys reach out to Ali via email with a video, he'll send you his first embarrassing
I
video
love
as
that. I love
as
that.
a an incentive
I
for
love that. That
connect.
sounds amazing. I'm all for that. Let's do it.
Well, Ali, thanks for being on the ROI Online Podcast and helping us understand more about video and why it's a big advantage.
Anytime, Steve. You're a friend of ours, and we'll take care of you whenever we can. I want to encourage everyone to go and buy The Golden Toilet.
Mhm.
Awesome book, and take a look at the Simon Cowell effect inside that book, and try to put it in terms of video. It makes a lot of good sense. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the podcast, Steve.
Thanks, Ali.
Yeah,
Thanks for being on the ROI Online Podcast. And that's a wrap.
take care.